Right for Word, Literature Centrum Cavoo and Disability Arts Cymru present the 2020 DAC Creative Award winners: Kitty Beltry, winner; Elle Rhodes, highly commended; Kath Davis, highly commended, reading live at Poems and Pints, the Queen's, Wales, and Pilsnerpoesi, Sweden, on Monday the 6th of July 2020.
So I'm Elle, I live in Cardiff, and this is my third ever reading, so let's just say I'm a little bit apprehensive. So I'm going to read you something called Lola and Grace, look, written in her book and everything. So this is Lola and Grace. Lola phones every single day. She wrings her hands, wishes she could see me soon. She's got a thin candle burning on the mantelpiece, probably for some good intention. Her with a snake of rosary beads held over her wrist. Her with a stoop of holy water at the door to sprinkle on visitors. So soon, but not yet. Not yet, but soon. Lola calls again, still wringing her hands, worried, concerned about today, thankful for yesterday, and glorifying last week, Hail Mary, full of grace. But not tomorrow, because tomorrow is uncertain, and she has a deficit of curiosity. She wants to know the what, but not the why, like a particular kind of full stop, amen. Lola doesn't ring, and it's a punishment that she's doling out in days. I'm her decade of the rosary, a sacrifice to her favourites. Take that naughty woman who isn't a good girl, knees together now, instead of me. I told her a virus doesn't work that way, but she insists that Jesus does. It's the redemptive power of suffering. Well, I prefer ease over all those little deaths she's fond of. Lola calls and says that I'm forgiven. Grace, anointed, forgiven and saved.
I'm going to read a poem called Essential Worker, which is based on my experiences in the last few weeks working as a key worker in my local community. So here goes. This is Essential Worker. The birds are singing. I can hear them over the noise of suffering. The keys at the end of my lanyard hang over my name on my ID card. The manager working late. My safety shoes step into her office, pink polo shirt and navy tabard. The exhausted politician. The sun is low as I drive down deserted streets, cross fingers like legs for luck. Everything I have written up to this point is irrelevant. How the light reveals the emptiness of modern life until now. Instead, the NHS nurse on a 12-hour shift, the carer going into a flat, herself not the focus. The lobby of the extra care scheme is silent, the doors opening on all that really matters. I step towards the desk and sign in. How to do any justice to that? How to honour these heroes who do not shout? Only to remember, as in the language of war, today they give us our tomorrow. Each door is a blank. Each resident is self-isolating and keeping safe. Love is social distancing. At the end of my shift, I walk to the car. The low light is still hovering. I will go home, strip, shower, for the nth time, wash my hands.
The poem is called The Magician's Daughter, and there's an epigraph to the poem taken from the autobiography of sociologist Carolyn Steedman, which is called Landscape for a Good Woman. Just a trigger warning, the poem addresses the theme of sexual abuse. So it's called The Magician's Daughter. In the fairy stories, the daughters love their fathers because they are mighty princes, great rulers, and because such absolute power seduces. He draws a silk scarf from a secret pocket in his trousers, snakes it around wrists, splits in two, twists it taut like her vocal cords, places it over her eggshell eyelids, then offers his hand, white-gloved, bowing low. He lets loose the stolen jewels lining his jacket. She accepts, blindly, curtsying into the citrine shaft of spotlight that slices the stage in half, then footsteps into the dead flat chest, arranges herself, doll-like, inside, before he lays the wooden lid to rest. Until now, he has kept her for himself, fed on a diet of sliced tongue and pearl cufflinks. The ritual begins before the stage door, before the audience, the dressing room, where he inserts the knife into her velvet and feathers, plucks her hair into tucks and tresses, places a glass slipper on her pillow. Thus he enters without breaking, and she slips seamlessly into the space conjured by his third wife, who broke all his spells while he snored by the stove after Saturday matinee, stole the key to his best hat box for her whalebone combs and peacock frocks, and vanished with a ventriloquist from Vladivostok. He feels the thickness of the blade like honey inside her, and the strength of his heaving old magic. Why, his wand can cut her in two, separate her bones from her meat, like halving a peach. She is ripe now for his next trick. Now he has her undone. He will make her disappear now.
Okay, so this is a nursery rhyme. Freedom in the water, freedom in the sea, freedom in the brightest sky, 1, 2, 3. Slogans on the billboards, slogans on our lips, all stay in, go out, stay in, 4, 5, 6. Rainbows in the sunshine, rainbows in the rain, rainbows at the hospital, 7, 8, 9. Roses for the dying, roses for the well, roses at the supermarket, 10, 11, 12. 30,000 counting, 30,000 gone, many thousand yet to go, 3, 2, 1.
I am house hobbled now, slowed down by my own stone self. I don't despise whatever wrought it, for it has made me listen harder, look further, and reach for the touch and scent of once familiar things. I eke slow words out of a fossil on a windowsill. It was a fern, a few million years old, and it wanted to be written into life again. We wrestle though. The language is sluggish, lost, eroded. Both of us slowly quarried out. The fossil was a gift. I was never a fossil hunter, though I was good with bones on archaeological digs, sorting through endless trays of finds, jigsawing lives back together. Maybe I lived my life back to front, all those sedentary desk discoveries when I was at my fittest, and those outdoor field encounters when I was already disassembling. Perhaps that's why I did them, to rage in my own way against a dimming light, remaking and reconstituting everything except me. Others bring the outdoors in, through rock or plant or desperate horn, and they rest in small landscapes of memory. A bowl of shells and empty mermaids' purses, a jar of skulls and fretted bones, a mobile of feathers shifting in the windless window, a windowsill of fossils and stony glimmers. I rest a careful finger against the mobile and set it slow spinning in the air, imagining skylarks sharp ascending, or the shift and thrill of the summer swallow. I run the same finger through the shell bowl and watch the sand silver out of nooks and crannies. The jar of bones looks back at me. Some find the stark reminder a morbid decoration. Others want to marvel at all that frailty, hastily documented in blood and skin. Easier to consider that cabinet of curiosities than me. Easier to avert a gaze than to think of what I am, bound up now in my glass-looking window box, tied up now in a body run out. I am a hard reminder. So I hold this stone-fixed body and consider its ways. And I think it beautiful too, and feel less sorrow, though perhaps, still, some regret.
It's called Q19, the poem, and the epigraph is taken from the minutes of a meeting of the SAGE group that's been advising the government, and specifically the Government Advisory Group on Scientific Pandemic Influenza Behaviour, and the epigraph reads thus: the perceived level of personal threat needs to be increased among those who are complacent, using hard-hitting emotional messaging and social disapproval from one's community. Q19, after Homer Simpson. I can't wear this lockdown, locked up life like you. I need to unpick its thickly knit two-ply polyester propaganda, poke holes in its cheap rhetorical vest and pants. Sure, the neighbourhood Stasi, gloved and gagged in DIY PPI, will tweet, twitch curtains, send text messages to the BBC when they clock me strolling my naked soul down the street, when they notice my bare-ass passion not standing on my doorstep every Thursday at 8 on the dot, not kneeling, not clapping loud enough. Oh, I'll never be one to dress in uniform and muzzle. I've a hand-woven psychopathological immunity to this green and yellow tar and feathers community, charging me with causing death by having a picnic and not giving a shit about other people while it nabs all the family-sized packets of pasta and panic buys toilet paper. I don't buy this two-faced tissue spun by slippery suits with portfolios in plundering public purses and cutting care, hashtagging save the NHS, the vulnerable, hang the cost. It's stitch-up, a shut-up, shut-down, put-down gone viral. Politicians with second homes and gardens the size of our local park, barking on about how we're all in this together, on the level, flattening curves. Now the swings are gone, the bench is bound in neon tape, and we can all partake in Zoom pub quizzes, cloaked behind usernames, passwords, security questions, contactless, cashless, remote, controlled.
Congratulations. Llongyfarchiadau, Kitty, Elle and Kath.